Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Musiak. Today we're going to talk about joy because last episode I said do more things that bring you joy. So how do you do that? So I'm going to get into this, but I want to first say this comes with so much love. Everything I'm about to share here is so close to my heart because just yesterday, I plan on recording this episode and I found myself not feeling joy. And I just felt like mopey, uninspired. I looked at everything I was about to share with you and I was like, I don't have it in me. I was like, how can I talk about joy when I don't feel joy? So it happens. Like the other day I was super motivated and excited and then I woke up yesterday not feeling so good. So how do we first off get out of that? So I'm going to share a little bit about what happened because I want you to know that you're not alone when you're not feeling good. We all have it, and I've been on my self-love journey, if you've been listening, for over a decade. And I look back at the person I was when I started. One, I wouldn't even recognize myself if I met my past self on the street. So it's where we came from. So it's not always about like being perfect. It's becoming aware of when we get in a funky mood or we just don't have joy in our heart or we feel unmotivated. So it's really about being aware because we all have moments. So I am showing up today with so much love and excitement because I took a day off. So that's where it started. So I woke up and I was just really tired and drained. Now I have been on go. I'm going to be honest, a go. We have been having a lot of holidays. There's the extra one for the Queen's funeral a while back. So my kids had the school day off, but my husband didn't, and I didn't plan on taking the day off either. But I did because my kids were home. Anyways, life happens and life gets busy. And I realized that I was on go and I wasn't taking enough time for me. So that's one of the biggest things when we aren't filling up our own cups, when we're not taking care of ourselves. And then there was another holiday on the Friday, and that's usually my day that I take for me to be with me and like do everything. Like when they're at school, I do things that fill me up. Go for a hike with a friend and go to Zumba and, just get out in nature and just maybe have a bath and, just things for me. Anyway, so I missed out on some stuff and I realized now, looking back, because that's what we can do, right? It's like, oh, what could I change so I don't do it again, that it doesn't happen like this again, or that I can try to have it happen less. I've realized now that if the kids only have school for 3 days, or my schedule really switches it up to take the next week and counterbalance that busy week. So this doesn't even have to do with school and the kids all the time. I have weeks that are just really busy with work. So looking at that week and going, oh, that's busy. It has to be I shouldn't say has to be that way, but to get things done that I've promised people, I need to hustle. But then giving myself a break the following week. I hope that makes sense. So what did I do yesterday? Well, first off, I beat myself up. I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh man, this sucks. I'm tired. I was feeling crappy. I was like, I need to show up. I need to do this. And I got to do this. And, I got in the I need to do, should do, beating myself up, feeling like, well, I can't just lay around all day. Like, I got things to do. So, beat myself up for a while, only to realize that wasn't going to help me anywhere. It was just making me more stressed out, more frustrated, and less connected to who I really am and to my inspiration and motivation that will help me share and motivate other people. Because beating myself up is really getting me nowhere. So, after my little pity party, I just sat in it for a minute. First, I was like, okay, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? and was really just getting connected to myself. I also realized that the week before it was pretty busy and that my cup wasn't being filled. I'm like, okay, this is why I'm feeling like this. This is why I'm not connected to my creativiness, the motivation, the inspiration that literally comes fairly naturally to me. But I was having such a hard time. So first off, once I realized what was going on, I'm like, I'm just going to take the day off. I'm just going to be okay with taking a day off because I think that's what I need right now. The moment I made that decision to take the day off, I literally felt the weight from my shoulders relax and just shift off my shoulders. I could breathe. And then when we can breathe, we can make better decisions. We can look at a situation from a different perspective. And that is what I did. So I allowed myself to be, and thank goodness I got rid of the pity party and things. So when my kids got home from school, I wasn't all frustrated that it didn't work. I was actually very excited that I lived through that experience so I could share it with others, that it didn't last very long. Because years ago, I could have literally wasted a whole week. I don't want to say wasted. Okay, I would have wasted. But, like it could have taken me longer. And I would have just had this pity party for myself. So celebrating the wins within the lessons. It was a lesson. It's like I need to look at things a little differently sometimes. Just because my me day is usually on a Friday doesn't mean I can't shift it to a different day when the schedule's all over the place. So it's thinking differently, a different perspective. So finding more joy or doing more of things that bring you joy. Let's get back to that. First off, it's slowing down. Slow it down so you can realize how you're feeling, what's showing up, what's not showing up, and what's going on underneath the surface. Because when we go, we have no time to figure it all out, just to feel. Because here's the truth, we are always feeling. Feelings are always happening. But that doesn't mean we're aware of them. So if we're not aware, they're still happening, and they can control our decision making. So it's slowing down enough to even realize if what you're doing with your day, your week, your month, your year is even what you want to be doing. Does it bring you joy? It's hard to do things that bring you joy if you're filling your day with things that don't. Some things in life have to happen. Like I love a clean kitchen, so I do the dishes. However, what I found is if I put more joy towards it, so I put music on or listen to a book, like an audiobook or a podcast, something that lights me up, and doing the dishes at the same time, it connects to something I love to do, and then you can love doing it. So just because you may have to do something in your life, because life, is constantly going on, you can still bring joy into those little moments in your life. So it's a balance between doing things like purely for joy. Like for me, going to the beach, going to the water, going for walks in the forest. Yoga brings me joy. And listening to music. So like I said, when I connect music to dishes and cleaning, it clicks this different aspect into everything. I hope that makes sense to you. But the thing is, we need to slow down to really understand that. Because if you're, like I said, going, then the other thing is you're not filling up your cup. And part of filling up your cup is doing things that bring you joy. So it's looking at your day, your week, your month, your year of what you're doing. How can you bring more joy into the things that still need to get done? And how can you just do more things that bring you joy? things that just make you so happy inside. Make a list. Make a list of things that make you happy. And if you don't know what that is, it's even more important to slow it down. Take yourself out for a date. And it can be simple. You don't have to spend any money. Grab your coffee in the morning and go for a walk and sit somewhere, overlooking water if possible, or anything that brings, I always bring water in because that brings me joy. But maybe that's not something for you. The mountains, the forest, anything, your garden, a flower bed, a park, anything, preferably not as around people if possible, just so you can have your own quiet space. But if you can't, that's, you got to do what works in your environment. But take yourself out on a date. And like I said, it doesn't even have to cost anything. Grab your coffee, a tea, your water, anything, and just go sit. Bring your journal if you want. I do recommend, if you have your phone with you, that's fine. Like if you need to communicate or stay with the world and things like that. But try not to look at it while you're on your date, because we can get distracted. It's a way of distracting ourselves from looking what is going on in our own lives. It's a tool of like I do it myself when I'm watching TV and I don't like a scene in a show or a movie. I'm like, I don't really want to deal with this. And I don't even do it thinking about it anymore. Just I grab my phone. I'm like, I clearly don't like this part of the movie or the show because I'm distracting myself. I don't want to see this. So we do that in life too. We grab something to distract us from something we don't want to look at or feel. So be mindful of that. Like you can have your phone on you just again so people can reach you, or this way, like if you are hiking and stuff, you still have a communication device. However, set it down. Leave it alone and just be with yourself. And like I said, you can bring your journal, write it out, whatever you like, or just be. Look at nature. Think about what brings you joy. You can even write that down in your journal or on a piece of paper. What brings me joy? So what brings you joy? What do you love doing? Another thing to help bring more joy into your life, especially if you have a hard time answering that question I just mentioned, is try something new. Every so often, try something new. Now, it's the past couple of years could have been kind of putting us in like constraints of not being able to. Now is the time to really just go out and try something new. Maybe there's been like, I've always wanted to do this. Well, go do it. So one of the things for me is a while back I was thinking, oh man, I wish there was a Zumba class around. I really would love to do Zumba again. And it's been, a long time. I don't even remember. My youngest is 6 years old, and I don't think I ever did Zumba since he's been born. So it's been a long time. And fun fact, after I said that, now there's a Zumba class in town. So there I go. I'm taking Zumba. So it's doing something new or picking up something that did bring you joy. So trying new things. So I'm reminded of my husband. Hopefully he's okay with me sharing the story. Is long time ago, he tried dancing. I think it's always something he's been wanting to do, and he tried it. And he went through Fred Astaire to take lessons. And later on, I actually met him at a different dance studio that I was taking lessons at. So, and he loves dancing. We both do. So unfortunately, we don't do it as much anymore. So hopefully after this podcast episode, we can incorporate more dancing into our lives. The thing is, though, is trying something new, because you don't know if you like it or not until you try it. And that doesn't mean you have to stick with it forever, but give it a fair shake. And if you don't like it, it's not about failure or, I suck at this. It's like, okay, that wasn't for me, and move on. Or it's like, oh my goodness, I love this. I want to do more of this, and how can I include it in more of my everyday life? There you go. You got something else that brings you joy. But if you don't try it, you'll never know. So trying something new, so awesome, so important. And again, going back to the things that used to bring you joy. Now, that being said, you might have like, I liked, horseback riding. And then it's like you get back on, you're like, okay, you try it a few times. And it's like, this is not me anymore. You never know. Like you might have changed. You might not be the same person anymore either. So give yourself room to try new things or to go back and check other things out. And then also give yourself time and space to be okay with liking something new or not liking something new. And then figuring out if you like something that you liked before is still something you like to do or not anymore. And that's okay too. I just thought of something else. So last year I was doing a lot of yoga. That was like my thing, yoga and hiking. This past few months, maybe even more, I reconnected to working out, like strength training. And before, I even think I said it in a podcast episode here, is that's not my life anymore. I don't want to work out hard. But the fun thing is I actually really like it. So it was like I had this love-hate relationship because I tied it to it wasn't helping me lose weight. It's all about perspective. I had to change my perspective. So I just decided, I'm like, I'm going to do some weightlifting. And it actually has been so amazing. It helps me with my mood and it just makes me feel good. And that's really what it comes down to, is doing things that make you feel good. And then day by day, week by week, month by month, check them out, see how it goes, check in with yourself. How are you feeling? Take time for you to listen to your own inner voice, your joy meter. You know, we all have one of those. And if you've been feeling really like blah, I'm going to use the word blah because that's how I feel sometimes. It's blah, like ugh. I even go to my husband yesterday. I'm like, I don't feel good. I'm like, I feel blah. So if you're not feeling good, check in on your joy meter. Something's up and you're not filling your cup up with enough awesomeness for you. So I could list off a whole pile of things to bring more joy into your life, like activities, but those are because they bring me joy. It's really figuring out what brings you joy. So if you are not a nature person and that is not your jam, like that's not your thing, anything I mentioned about nature would make you cringe. So when I mentioned about having a date day, you could also go to a restaurant or a library, other things as well, or even in your own room. But making sure that you're not distracted by life because, you know, your to-do lists and things like that. So just keep that in mind. But you got to find out what works for you. Because like I said, I could list off so many different things that bring me joy. But they might not resonate with you and they might not bring you joy. So go out there. Go on adventures with yourself, with your friends, with family, and just try new things and see how you feel. You can even keep a journal for your adventures. You know, look at it as an adventure, not as something you have to accomplish or like a to-do list. Go on adventures and find your joy because it's there waiting for you. And it's so exciting that you're finally, looking for it. You got this. I am so excited for your joy journey. And I am sending you so, so much love. And remember, when you don't feel joy, take a moment, slow down, recenter yourself, and go back out there. You are amazing. And your joy is there. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now.